I'm back. I'm here. Did you miss me? I hope so. Yes, yes. Everything's fine. Yes, yes. Ok. Dá pra me ouvir? Belezura.
Welcome.
Cheguemos, rapaziadson. Depois de um tempo, estamos aqui mais uma vez. Muito feliz. Voltei para minha casa e voltei para fazer lives. Então, é isto. Deixa eu pegar aqui. E notificar a galera que quer ser notificada. Belezura, rapadura. É nóis. Espero que vocês estejam todos muito bem. Eu vou continuar de onde estou. De onde estive. Na página 7059. Sim, mais de 7.000 páginas. Nós chegamos nesse patamar. Foi difícil, mas aqui estamos. Essa deve ser a live número 50 e tantas. E é isso. Vou continuar então. I'm starting to remember the things she told me so vividly now. It's amazing what a creative project can do to get your mind turning. What shall I draw first? Hello, lendária. Aquela fitinha. Fitinha. Refresque minha memória, não estou lembrando por esse nome. The Land of Wind and Shade. That is where the story starts. I see. Which story, exactly? Her story or yours? Ela usa uma máscara. Uma fitinha que usa uma máscara. Ah, você não tá falando do The Amazing Digital Circus, ou tá? No caso, a dublagem oficial que eu saiba é a Vizedek que faz aquele personagem. A fitinha que usa uma máscara tanto pra rir quanto pra chorar, né? Mas que ela fica chorando o episódio inteiro. Eu assisti o episódio desse negócio, é bem fluida a animação, gostei. E eu fiquei surpresa que tem uma dublagem oficial já tão rápido. Both, as a matter of fact. My story began with a tragedy on Lois, which led to meeting her in the first place. And then, she used my memory of that tragedy as a starting point from her story, which turned out to be related. Fala, Vimon, como vai tu? Que saudade! Seja muito bem-vindo. Obrigada, boa noite. É bom estar de volta. Quer dizer, não foi muito bom me despedir da Chuchu, mas é bom estar de volta. Oh, fascinating. I love stories. I know. I'll start with mine, since that will make everything else make sense. So go ahead and start drawing. What? Lois! Right! How's this? Looks good. Don't forget to put a really tall house poking out of the top. Oh yes, of course. Ah, eu também vou bem. Obrigado por perguntar. Estou suave. Tava assistindo um filme de terror agorinha mesmo e eu ainda tô processando tudo que eu vi. Mas foi de boas. So, you say your story begins with a tragedy. What shall I draw next to depict this tragedy? Nothing yet. I'll get to that. But yeah, the tragedy is why I was alone on the golden ship. It was not long after our 3-year journey began. I was relaxing in our makeshift living room giving John and Dave's pride some space to themselves for a while so they could catch up. John wanted to visit his home again, so I happily obliged and shrunk them both down so they could hang out in his tiny tall halls. It seemed like a nice thing to do, but I came to regret that decision more than any I've ever made. I was minding my own business when out of nowhere, Lois exploded. Oh my. I couldn't believe it. It was totally inexplicable. Then there was no trace of them at all. They were both dead. I suppose it must have meant John's death was heroic, but I couldn't for the life of me imagine how. To me, it was as pointless as and arbitrary as a death could be. I looked within myself as hard as I could to see if there was some power I had in all my omnipotence to bring them back. But I couldn't. They were gone. I would spend the next 3 years on that ship without my two best friends. Sure, there were still concerts and chess guys to keep me company. The loss was too much for me to bear. I felt so alone. Caraca, essa interação da Jade é muito triste. Ela ficou toda sozinha durante muito tempo. Coitada. Weeks and months went by. I didn't have the slightest sense of how quickly or slowly time was passing. Any sense of purpose to reaching the destination had vanished, and delicious though it was, no amount of Nana's cake would bring me comfort. Toward the end of the journey, when I feeling particularly despondent, I fell asleep and had a dream. And that is when I met a very powerful, strangely charismatic creature. Her name was Calliope. As I said, she was somewhat like you, and yet so unlike. Her presence was so serious and grave. Her hollow eyes were piercing, but not hostile. But the prevailing sense I got from her was one of loneliness. Before she even said a word, I could feel it somehow, that this was a deeply lonely soul. Until I met her, I thought I was the loneliest person in the universe. But a feeling told me she had been here by herself for a long, long time. I felt sorry for her, and relating to her plight helped me overcome the feelings of intimidation. So we began to talk. We traded stories about ourselves. She spoke of her brother she killed. I spoke of the brother I lost. And when I mentioned John's death, that is when she became very serious again. She began to recount how John had died, repeating to me the same story I just told you. She described the spontaneous destruction of Lois, which left me alone for years. I wondered why she was recounting this tragedy that happened to me, and for that matter, how she knew of it herself. She went on to say that Lois was destroyed because John's denizen had suddenly woken up. Fala, Ono. Boa noite, como vai você?
Oh my God!
Eu estou bem. Bonequinho de palito. Typhoeus, a great monster of truly terrifying power. She said he had destroyed his land and slayed his own heir of breath, not out of malice, but to make a slight correction. I asked her, "What do you mean, correction?" Quer dizer que essa é a segunda linha do tempo em que o John morre pro denizen dele. E eu posso ressaltar o quão fofa a Jade é, porque tipo, a Jade ficou sozinha durante anos, mas ela conhece uma pessoa que tá mais sozinha do que ela, né? Sozinha durante mais tempo do que ela, e ela imediatamente já empatiza. A Jade é muito gracinha. She said that the John from my reality and his entire planet needed to be erased, and that the slumbering denizen in all his mysterious wisdom knew this. She told me that the dreams of a denizen draw from the same well of potential from which every conceivable possibility arises. Fala, Nana, como é que tá a enxaqueca? Como é que você tá? Consegui um emprego, só preciso entregar uma... Olha, parabéns! É emprego de quê? Muitos parabéns. Deixa eu ver se eu tenho um... Aqui, ó. Tá um cu? Ah, melhoras. Isso foi pro ONU. Esse aqui é pra Nana.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
E eu tava assim agorinha mesmo. Nossa, antes de começar a live eu tava com muito sono, gente. Eu tava bocejando pra caramba. No KFC? Caralho. Que legal. Não tem KFC pra cá, mas eu posso imaginar. Parabéns, ONU. ONU empregado, é isto. The same place Kaya gets its power from. So, if an agreement with a denizen is reached in one reality, that same denizen in another reality could become aware of it and respond accordingly. It seems that John, somewhere in some other plane of existence, had made just such an agreement. She said that the John I knew, like herself, was only one version of a person. There was a different version of John from another reality poised to play a more significant role. You see, the John from that reality is an act of desperation had gone to see Typheus and struck a bargain with him. Fala, Xande, como vai você? Eu não tava em casa, cara. Eu tava viajando, eu tava fora. Fui fazer uma visita especialíssima para uma pessoa... Para algumas pessoas especialíssimas. E correu tudo bem, graças a Deus. Mas eu estava com vontade de... Eu estava com saudade de ler a live aqui com vocês. She would go on to explain the nature of that bargain in the next part of her story. But, from my perspective, the consequence of this bargain was to lose my friends and to live with that for years without understanding why. Losing them still hurt, but I was so relieved to at least understand the reason, and to realize their senseless deaths were actually serving a bigger purpose. I thanked her for letting me know. Imagina, tipo, você morre numa realidade porque em outra realidade você fez uma barganha com um ser mitológico pra dar alguma coisa certa na outra realidade. Imagina, vocês fariam esse sacrifício? Vocês sacrificariam um outro eu de vocês de outra timeline? Tipo assim, é ele que vai se ferrar e não eu? Que coisa. Empregada doméstica. Que isso, ONU. Agora eu imaginei você de maid. ONU maid, é real. ONU maid do KFC. É isso. Quem gosta de lore, vai fazendo a lore aí. She told me she was not human and had no frame of reference for empathizing with my feelings. But if there was one thing she could relate to, it was the feeling of being alone. The feeling of waiting for what seems like eternity by yourself until finally your purpose presents itself. I feel sorry for her. Or for myself, I suppose. But then again, that feeling is nothing new. It's an odd statement she made, though. What? Not having the frame of reference for empathizing with human feelings. If you asked me, I would say I have the advantage to relate to both humans and Caribs. So, when you describe your feelings of sadness over losing friends, I'd have more than enough grounds for commiseration. Do you think that this version of me never what? Never had human friends like I did? I have no idea. What a strange thought. To grow up with only my brother for company, and not even have my human friends to get me by. What a dreadful fate, the poor thing. Maybe that was the difference? What let her predominate over her brother, whereas I was too, humanly socialized to succeed in my cherubic rite of passage? Could be. I don't know enough about Carib rites of passage to say either way. Human rites of passage either, for that matter. So, then what happened? Right, anyway, that's when she began her story in earnest. The one she summoned me in my dreams to tell me. The story of the other John who made a deal with Typheus. It began with the same place mine did, Lois. So, go on. What? Draw Lois again. Oh, wait. All over again? No. You can just copy the first one you did. What a lovely idea. I'd hate to hold up the pace of your exciting tale with a bunch of superfluous doodling. Good enough? But, yes, but there are also supposed to be glitches around. Glitches? What do you mean by glitches? Like computery glitches, I think. That sounds hard to draw. Okay, why don't we not worry about showing the glitches for this story? They would just make it harder to see what's going on, which is probably the point now that I think about it. The point? Of what? I never thought much about it. It just seemed like a weird detail she mentioned. But I guess it was some strange form of corruption in their session that made everything harder to understand. Where did the corruption come from? No idea. I guess it was just one more way everything got messed up for them. Like, just another surreal obstacle for a hero to overcome? Oh, that reminds me. You need to draw John there as well. Righto! There you go. One hero, some surreal obstacles. When she mentioned that, I didn't give it a second thought. But now that I am trying to reconstruct everything and tell you what to draw, I guess when you're trying to tell a story, it forces you to think a lot more about everything than when you're just listening to one. It is quite true. Perhaps you should start writing? How did she begin? Let me think. Maybe we should pause before I go on? Pause? Like some sort of intermission. So I can collect my thoughts a bit. And to give the audience a little breather between two significant arcs. We were at it for a pretty good while there, after all. What audience? Well, that would be you in this case. Oh, I know. I can doodle a quick story about the antics of the silly concerts on the Golden Ship before moving on. Essa intermission aqui, ela tá muito meta. One of the things I did to pass the time on the ship was give them funny names. Let's meet our cast of characters from this intermission, shall we? Let's see. There was Bubble Pegas, Thips Ahoy, Neckbin Nimble, Slowpoke Malone, Jade, Detective Club's Budget, Fidgety Herbert, Fala Lã, sou eu sim, Dr. Sausages, Yiffy Yiff, Jade! Huh? I'm sorry, but I don't care about this right now. Your concert friends are so very cute, and their names are silly, and I love them all, but I want to hear the rest of the story. Please, let's go back to illustrating her story. I'm so curious. Please, 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 please. Wow. Okay, sorry. Yes, you're right. This is a stupid diversion. Let's continue. Callie? Your hand. Whoops. Você não viu nada, minha mão reptiliana. Tudo bom? Como vai você? Saudades? Pay no attention to that. Do carry on. So, anyway, like I said, she just finished telling me that she was able to beat her brother in this reality. But apparently, that wasn't supposed to happen. So she lived out the rest of her life in a doomed timeline and eventually died. She didn't mention how. And then she did this kind of fancy transition. Darn, I don't think I'll do it justice. A transition to a story about my brother, who was stuck in a doomed timeline too. I think I'll mess it up if I try to match what she said word for word. She had a really fanciful way of putting things. There's no need to try to recite what she said. Just tell the story in your own voice, as you have already been doing. It will be more fun that way. Okay, so the bottom line was almost all our friends had died, and John's only hope was to return to his planet and attempt to complete his personal quest. As you know, we all have personal quests that are unique to our planets. The nature of the quest is never easy to understand at first. They are presented to us through enigmatic riddles conveyed through the lore of the land. For John, it was to journey to the place where constellations danced beneath the clouds. It was said the hair of breath was to free the stars from the shade and release them into heaven. This was just a mysterious way of saying that what he really had to do. The stars were actually fireflies. They'd been flying around trapped beneath the overcast sky ever since John first brought Lois into existence by his arrival. And paradoxically, they'd been imprisoned there for ages before that. Peraí. Such is the way of our lands. They are newly born the day we arrive, and yet they always were here. They always were. Eu falei here que não tinha ali. To free the fireflies, John would have to play a special song. It had to be played just right to summon the breeze through the pipes. But there was a problem. The pipes were all clogged with oil. The first day John came to his land, oil began oozing up from the core. flooding the pipes and filling the oceans. Ah, por causa do filme, né? Eu também vi um povo fazendo cosplay de FNAF pra assistir o filme. Deve ser legal. To play the song, first he would need to clean up the oil. And to do that, he would need to face the slumbering one himself. He would need to face Typhoeus. But as he wandered through the catacombs down to the planet's core, he wasn't thinking about freeing fireflies or cleaning up oil. He was seeking the help of his denizen to master a power he couldn't control. Luckily for him, denizens always seem to understand what you want, and more importantly, what you need, whether you know it or not. Is something wrong, Kelly? Go ahead and draw Typhoeus. Oh. Yes. You do know what he looks like, don't you? I believe I do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just draw a big green snake monster. A big green snake monster, you say? Yes, a snake monster with the most unspeakably hideous face you can imagine. But you don't have to be too literal about that. Feel free to draw something a little more representational. I'm not sure if I am particularly comfortable rendering such imagery. Why not? It strikes me as rather indecent. Não é, Ono? Também. For reasons I would be too embarrassed to explain. That's okay. Why don't I draw it? Very well. But you must excuse me if I giggle. Okay. But I don't see what's so indecent about a big old snake. Tee lol. When John got to the core, he arrived to find Typhoeus awake and ready for him. He was then presented with a choice. Stop, you're gonna make me crack up too. This part is serious. I apologize. Please, go on. Ela morrendo de rir porque ela tá vendo uma cobra pelada. Fala, Gabriel, tudo bom? Como vai? A gente tá na página 7086. His choice was presented as a kind of riddle, spoken in a language only he could understand, spelling out the conditions he must accept. But speaking from experience, once a player is given the choice between two courses of action, it will hardly feel like a choice at all. If the heart is in the right place, then the right thing to do always seems obvious. So John accepted his denizen's terms. And with that... Parece que quando o meu primo adolescente foi assistir FNAF, na sessão dele, ele e os amiguinhos ficaram gritando no filme pra assustar a galera. Typhoeus opened valves to the core and flooded it with oil. There was no way out. He could not transform into wind because he was completely submerged. So he was faced with two possibilities. Either he could figure out how to make himself disappear completely, using the ability he hoped to master, or he could drown in the oil. Drowning obviously would have been bad. Meu Deus, Gabriel. But disappearing wouldn't be much better. He would appear somewhere else, having made no progress on his personal quest. His planet would still be polluted and he would be no closer to playing his song. Somehow he understood the only way was to conceive of a third option, an idea beyond the simple binary set of outcomes before him. And interestingly, it was coming to this understanding which gave him the first glimpse of how to control the power. He realized it wasn't himself that he needed to make disappear. It was the oil. He dispersed every drop throughout existence. Oh fuck. Did he? Yes, he did. O ator do Mike era o moleque do Zatura e o outro moleque no Ponte pra Terabit. É o Pita de Jogos Vorazes. Olha lá. O John colocando um pouquinho de petróleo em cada parte da história de Homestuck. Meu Deus do céu. O trabalho que deu de dispersar essas porra toda pela existência. Caralho. De pouquinho em pouquinho ele foi tirando o petróleo. Olha que viagem no tempo maneira essa. Os Estados Unidos estaria ó chorando. Leaving a little mark for anyone who might notice, signifying his final mastery over his confining reality. Que história boa. O cara dispersa óleo por toda a existência. Que história boa. Conteúdo, qualidade. É isso. Até no letreiro tem óleo. Caraca, mano. But more importantly, oil retcon. Leaving his planet clean and the pipes clear. Finally, they were ready to let the breeze flow, so he could play his song. Aproveitar para beber água. Tirou o fôlego, né? Essa é boa. Literalmente tirou o fôlego. Ai, caralho. E assim ele vai desglitchar as coisas todas. Que ótimo. Não aguentava mais. Clique. Opa, que vai ter outro S. Peraí. Ai, meu Deus. Cheio dos vagalumes na tela. Uh! Cadê todo mundo? Cadê? O carro do pai dele. Ainda sobrou uns vagalumes aqui assim, né? Ah, ele vai de volta pra casa dele. Ai, Roxy! Yay! Sup? Ai, meu Deus, não dá pra mexer no volume aqui, não? É, não dá. You find a spunky babe in a cool blue outfit hanging out on your planet. She doesn't belong here. What the hell is going on you? What the hell is going on? You wonder loudly. You interrogate the rogue teen babe for answers. You mean girl, rogue teen girl. Sup, 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 sup. Sup. Sup, 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 sup. Yeah, that's right. Roxy? Sup? What are you doing here? I thought you were going to see your denizen. I did. You did? Yeah. How did it go? It went okay. Yeah? What happened? Oh, you know. Ventured to spooky subterranean lair for a bit of cathartic and life-altering monster real talk. Okay, that is a funny way of putting it, but yeah, me too. Yep, I figured your monster quest happened. I mean, once the gross black shit disappeared and the wind started blowing like a motherfucker. What did your monster say? I mean, your... pardon. Hey, maybe we should try to be more respectful about our god monsters. Her name is Nyx. Right. What did Nyx say? Did she speak in the weird babbly language that you could still understand somehow, even though it made no sense? Fuck yes! Was downright incomprehensible in the most mysteriously understandable way. Fala, Rica! Quanto tempo, meu amigo? Como vai? Haha. She told me this riddle thing that basically spread it all out for me. Like what my options were and what would happen if I did the options and like the metaphysical and moral consequences of doing those options. Yeah, Typhoeus pretty much did the same thing with me. Typhoeus was the name of my snake monster, by the way. Ooh, you had a snake monster? Yes, he was awesome. So, did Nyx give you some sort of challenge to overcome, which by doing so you could get in touch with your powers? which enabled you to appear here by doing like this incredible voidy thing that let you phase out of existence and magically appear with me in this weird plane of reality? No. She pretty much just told me to fly to your planet, so I did. Tudo bom, meu querido? Como vai tu? Turu curu curu curu. Turu curu curu curu. Turururu tu tururu. Tururu turururu tu tururu. Estou ficando com fome. Tá. Huh? You mean like you just wrapped up your conversation with her, left her lair, and then flew to Lois? Yes. Okay. LMFAO. I know, right? Whoa, what a quest. But when you think about it, it was the totes obvious thing to do. I didn't know it at the time, but you were gonna make your old planet disappear. So if I wanted to keep persisting through your history-altering hijinks, then all I really had to do was, come along for the ride. No monsterly night magics needed. Yeah, that makes sense. Bora pro descanso pós-feriado, né? There were stipulations, though. Mad tips, if you will. Vis-a-vis but loads of Apagadas riddles. Right, you mean the choice thing? Yes. What were the mad tips? She said. Keep in mind, I am paraphrasing. If paraphrasing is even a thing you can do with stuff said in unfathomable monster jargon. That I could stay behind and vanish into nothingness forever, and everyone in the new reality would inherit all the big-time responsibilities, including a version of myself who had no memory of any of this and never experienced all the loss and sadness I just went through. Or I could go with you, but in doing so, everyone I loved would know that loss instead. Whatever that means. Pré-feriado. Pré-feriado, feriado amanhã. Yeah. Typhus gave me almost the exact same sort of choice. Something about other people feeling the loss I felt if I accepted his challenge. Which I'm sure is probably not good. But I mean, what else was I going to do? I couldn't just let things stay the way they were. Yes, exactly. Her caveat sounded ominous as shit, but there was something that didn't sit well with me about doing nothing. Accepting her terms just felt right, you know? Yeah. So, here I am. Yes. I'm glad it worked out like this. I was fully prepared to do this alone, to hop around and change things in whatever way. And I would get to see my friends again, even if they don't remember all the same stuff I do. Which was a lonely feeling, if that makes sense. But now, I'll have someone else to remember the way things originally went. Word. Yes, word indeed. But I know what you mean. It's nice to have, like a witness, I guess? Someone to authenticate the rough shit you went through. Even if we never end up talking about it again, the fact that at least someone else knows makes it feel like it didn't all mean nothing, right? Because even if it all gets erased and put back all better, I don't think the stuff we went through and the feelings we had meant nothing. In my opinion, the feelings themselves and the way they shaped us, that all means something. Forget it. Talking out my ass here. No, it makes sense. And anyway, if nothing else, everything that happened brought us here. The stuff we're about to do, whatever it is, wouldn't be possible otherwise. And that feels pretty important if you ask me. Bonito. Dá um nervoso desses bichinhos na tela, mas bonito. So, all that wind, that was you, right? Yes. I don't see any glitchy trash. Guess your humongous blowy spell did away with all that grody nonsense? Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't even notice until you just mentioned it, but yeah, I guess that damn problem is finally busted. Thank God. For real. I heard music too. Did you hear music? Did you hear music? Yes, that was me too. I was playing a magic organ. Oh, really? Yeah, see, there's this huge organ. That is almost certainly what she said. Wonk. Oh, shush. Anyway, this huge pipe organ, it let me play the breeze, so to speak. I think that was the only way to get rid of all those clouds and let the fireflies go home. This is their home, huh? I guess so. I'm surprised by how my quest turned out too, to be honest. It is kinda bittersweet, seeing all of the Twinkly Herbert's bros and sisters going home. Twinkly who? My pet firefly. I'm guessing this is where he was from. Oh, they all seem happy though. Look at them, all blinking away into the blank ass yonder. Why is the sky blank, by the way? It's blank because it's nothing. Nothing. Why is it nothing? Where even are we? Eu quero nugget sim. Passa aí. It's nothing because we are literally nowhere. Huh. Okay, how can you tell it's actually a field of nothingness, as opposed to just a bunch of regular empty space that happens to look vaguely neutral? How can I tell? I guess I just can. No, but how? Why don't you ask yourself? You're the one who asked me why it was blank in the first place. So why did you choose the term blank in your question? Damn! Obrigada pelo galo.
Já olhou pra alguém e pensou, o que passa na cabeça dela?
Owned at the philosophies. So owned. You will find I am the best there is at those. It's true. I'm always getting owned at those by you and your kin. Recently, your crazy dog sister was killing me on perfectly generic cubes. You mean generic objects. Generic fart blocks. Yeah. Now you are dropping truth bombs about blank skies on me. Shouldn't I be like innately stellar at this sort of stuff as a void player? Must be coming off slow as fuck on the uptake here, aren't I? Not really. You seem pretty smart to me. I do? Yeah. You have a funny and snappy way of talking like Dave. But unlike that knucklehead, I sense that behind all your jokes, you are probably some kind of brainiac like Rose. Wow. Don't get me wrong. I meant knucklehead in a good way. Dave is actually the best dude. You would like him. I bet you are correct. So Dave is, my son, right? Ugh. I mean, yes, pretty much. Honestly, it gets weird to think about all our relations in that way sometimes. I getcha. Like, when I think about you and Wolf Jade being the kids of Jane and Jake, oh my fucking god, that's so cute. So what is it you think's weird about Dave being my son? I think we should change the subject. Ahaha, alright. What were we talking about again? We were talking about blank skies and fort blocks and such. Oh yes. And you thought you should know more about things like that as a void hero, which reminds me, do you think you are any closer to making that alien egg? I mean, after seeing Nyx, did you feel like a power boost or anything? Nuggets de queijo? Existe isso? A power boost? Like Mega Man? Or, no, not like Mega Man. I mean like, you're asking if she taught me to do the voided thing. Well, did she? Nah, dude, I told you. We did our chat and some horse shit horse?
É pior que cavalo.
We did our chat in some horse shit elven ballooning tongue. And she just told me to come here. Like that's literally it. Go to planet if you want to live. So I did. There wasn't really any soul searching or getting in touch with my inner miracles. Oh. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I hope you weren't shortchanged out of an important mystical and spiritual process of self-discovery. What? Sorry, it's just... Sometimes it sounds so much like Jake. It's really quite uncanny. But yeah, I don't care about that, really. E de cavalo também?
Cavalo.
Demais! O demais eu não tenho. But yeah, I don't care about that, really. It was either take an uneventful and non-spiritual trip to a wind planet, or just stop existing altogether. I think I'll be fine without the self-discovery part. Yeah, or... Wait. What if this was part of it? Part of what? Your quest. Like, to be here and learn to use their powers better. We're kind of in a realm of literal nothingness right now. Maybe you'll be able to draw energy or inspiration from the void or whatever. Watch the lobo. Maybe I got junkie to go. Maybe you will be able to draw energy or inspiration from the void or whatever. Nyx. Why, you sly old bitch? Does that make sense? It kind of does. It kind of loads of does. Oh, sweet. I was just grasping at straws there. But now that you agree, I'm suddenly a lot more confident in my theory. But that's just a theory. Yeah, Jake. So, why don't you try it out again? What, the egg? Like, right now? Sure. Nah, to be honest, I'm a bit sick of trying to summon that ugly damn egg. How about later? I would rather just keep BSing with you for a while, rather than get right down to freaking business to defeat the Huns. I guess there's really no hurry, not in this place at least. I don't think this place has any bearing on other timelines. It's almost like taking a time out from our canonical lives. So if you wanted, you could take as much time to practice here as you need. I'm down as heck with that. Could use a breather from my canonical life. Me too. Even though I'm not sure I have one anymore. Well, since we already talked about my quest and like spiritual Mega Man style power boosts and all, what about yours? How did that go? How did it go? Pretty well, I'd say. No, but I know you blew away some clouds and blanked out the sky and all. But the point was so you could learn to control your zappy powers, did you? I think so. But I haven't really tried a controlled jump yet. I see. Well, when you do, where do you think you'll jump to first? I have no idea. The thought of changing the timeline is still mind-boggling to me. Well, if nothing else, you really should go grab that ring before the smug troll can take it. I mean, there was lots of problems already, but her coming back to life really fucked us over to the shittiest max possible. That's right. I definitely wanted to go back and get the ring off my couch before I lost it. At the very least, that way you can use it to help your friend. Yep. Any other ideas? Not yet. So much has happened, it's hard to even think about. And it's not even limited to what I've been through either. I've seen a lot of other crazy stuff just from my random jumps. Like what? Like the last place I was actually, just before I came back to find your session in ruins. I actually got into a pretty serious fight. Oh? With this guy. A school kid. He's a huge asshole and a horrible artist. You saw the school kid's drawings? Unfortunately. In fact, I was in his drawings once. It was a true nightmare come to life. I'm pretty much convinced he is the guy behind all of the problems we ever had, even though he's a complete ignoramus. Then you mean it was Kelly's bro? Yeah, probably. I have a feeling someday we will all have to take him down. But probably when he grows up to be his adult self. When I beat him up, he was just a teen scamp like us. But with a skull for a head, a robot leg, a cape which I ripped to shreds, and a pair of dumb suspenders. You beat him up? Damn! Y'all must be strong. Meh, not particularly. I was just really angry, and I caught him off guard drawing some shitty animes. Ah ha 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 ha, fuck his animes. They were quite literally the worst animes I have ever seen. I hope I hurt his drawing hand, and he never does any more ugly art for the rest of his stupid immortal skull monster life. Yeah, I know that guy. He used to troll my friends all the time. Wait, no, he used to jeer us. He was a tool. It just occurred to me, aside from fixing the timeline, there's another benefit to my new power. Once we all decide we're ready to fight him, I can just zap us all right to him. We could take him by surprise again. I really doubt he'd be able to handle us if we all clobbered him at once. That's pretty good thinking. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here, making plans for Rumble Royale with the mangaka dude bro, Lord of the Shitwonks. We should probably focus on bringing our loved ones back to life first. The sword. Is that Dirk's anime sword? What's up with that? This is where Dave's bro died a few years ago, probably while being heroic and cool. Jade made his body disappear to bury him, but I guess she left the sword here. She and Dave's sprite and I gathered around where he was buried, and Dave's sprite said some stuff about him. Stuff that was really funny and rambly, but also weirdly poignant. I guess it was a bit like a funeral? A funeral, you say? Yeah. Phase. Yoink. You're right. Taking a break from the mayhem is nice and all, but I should probably get going. I have a lot of responsibility now. I hope I can live up to it. Well, to quote an extremely wise and hunky dude I once knew, oh man, he was so wise. I hope I don't butcher his quote, but I think it goes a little something like, "You can handle it, John. I believe in you." Oh, thanks. Remember what I said to you about practicing voidy stuff? I will. Sim, são os vagalumes. Isso é da cena aqui da história. Sim, o Ono é o mais novo empregado do chat. Good. Alright, cool. Yeah, cool. Damn it. What? We're doing this again. Doing what? Being awkward instead of getting our shit in gear. Haha, whoops. Too bad Grouchy Scarf Troll ain't here to coordinate another stilted goodbye. Empreono doméstico. Sim, o Ono é a nova maid das paradas. Yeah, it's just as well, though. There's no need for goodbyes. If I really can control it now, I should be able to come back here anytime I want. Which means I won't be gone long. Okay, I'll be here, waiting, training, partying with those yellow lizards. Those are salamanders. Fuck. Later, Roxy. Later, John. See ya. É isso. Oh, my. Tá. O John apareceu no final do ato 1. Yikes! E desapareceu. I shouldn't mess around with that moment. It is way too fundamental. Let's try this again. Meu Deus. Na primeira intermission. Puta que pariu. Wow, no. Whatever is going on here, this is completely useless to history. Let's get it together, John. You've got to go somewhere relevant. Try to think of something that will help target a certain point in time. Try to think about one of your paws. Draw me like one of your French girls. Wait a minute. I remember this. Hey, you shouldn't be here. What? What the hell? Gotcha. Oh my god. Agora ele é o outro John. Meu Deus, meu Deus, meu Deus. Estamos naquele outro ponto. Stop fooling around and go find Roxy, you dumb goof. Zap. Who's Roxy? Ow. Wow, I can't believe how naive I was. Like, a day ago? It feels like it's been longer than that. Hard to believe. I was so confused when that happened. I was sure the other me knew so much more than I did at the time. Which is kind of true, but also kind of not. Like, if I traveled back here and altered reality in a non-time traveling way, then why do I remember doing it? Did I just make some sort of stable retcon loop? Does that even make sense? I think I did the right thing though, zapping my other self out of there. It was like a retroactively preemptive continuity adjustment. Retroactively preemptive? What am I even talking about? This part is kind of complicated. I need to be more careful. Got to come up with a better plan than zapping to wherever my stupid whims take me. I really could use some help with this. But who should I ask? Dave? He knows stuff about time travel. But then, it's not really time travel, is it? No. I need someone with a different kind of skill. Someone who knows how the consequences of certain actions play out. Someone like Rose? Is that what her powers did? I really should have taken some time to figure out what her powers did. Or maybe... Wait a minute! Wait, motherfucker! I think I understand what she was trying to do now. She was trying to give me a way to come back. Like, zero in on her thought signal or something. Tarazi, you're a genius. I mean, you're a weirdo, but you're also a genius. Alright, let's see if this works. Maybe if I just think it's hard enough. Pois é, ou não foi tipo isso que aconteceu? There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. If you don't know the password yet, it means you're not supposed to, dummy. Go back. Home. Olha só que legal essa interatividade aqui. I can't believe that actually worked. Woohoo! Hey Mina, any idea where we are now? You know. Do you think this could be the Dark Carnival? Nah, that shit ain't real. It's a made-up religious belief piped out by trash clowns. Are you sure? So yeah, be fake as shit. Of course the religious beliefs themselves are real. Making it convenient for anyone who wanna exploit those delusions for her own badass objectives. Like pulling in Clem's hand over Flipper and ruthlessly subjugating the general public. I mean, not that I'd ever bother with a dope scheme like that, just saying. Okay, I can buy that there's no such place as the Dark Carnival and totally get behind slamming the beliefs of people I dislike. But really, whose memory do you think this place is from? Fishka? How long you been dead now? I don't remember, to be honest. But you still ask questions like that. Whose brain this from? Where did that noise originate? I'm just curious. This is such an odd thing to encounter. Who experienced this? Some out version of Karkat's lame ancestor? A chess creature from a distant unrelated session after its post-reckoning getaway, who then repopulated a dead planet and started building amusement parks? I just tend to wonder things. It's my nature. It could be anything. Could even be a random patchwork of 50 different memories, all contributing to nothing that ever existed in particular. Who cares where they're from? I guess, now that you mention it, I don't actually. At all. Maybe I was just making conversation. Sometimes I just want to shoot the breeze with you. You're cute. Yeah. So I've heard. The point is, you just gotta keep looking at the D bubble, John, and take it in stroke, no matter how messed up it is or how much you think it shouldn't exist. Take it in stroke? Yeah, like swimming stroke, instead of walking stride. Likes fishing shit. I knew what you meant. I was just teasing. Why I oughta. So, do you want to hang out here a while? or fuck off to some other less ostentatious hodgepodge of memories. I don't know, does it look fun to you? I don't know. Does it look fun to you? Kinda does. Yeah, it kinda really does. Yeah. So, what do you want to do first? Go on this, slowly rotating horse cylinder? Oh, fuck no. Agreed. I think I hate horses, actually. Oh, do you?
Cavalo.
É pior que cavalos!
They sort of creep me out. Yeah? I had a weird experience one time where I was surrounded by a bunch of horses for no reason, and it was the most ominous fucking thing. I think I've just decided that being surrounded by horses might be the ultimate bad omen. Nothing good ever follow or precede those circumstances. I've never seen a horse, except I guess the robot kind.
Cavalo.
Would not recommend. Sounds like a nightmare. Minha aguinha pogotá. Nah, just like a mediocre situation prompting a bored thumbs down. Yeah, so scratch the horse or whirl, that's out. Do any other rides sound fun to you? No? No? Come on, Berserk. You don't go to amusement parks to hit up a bunch of rides for regulars. Oh, sorry, Your Royal Highness. I forgot about the standards I was dealing with here. Then what do? You just shit around acting cool, not giving a fuck. Being an all-around punk and hassling people who glance at you crooked. What people? Well, the other ghosts who eventually either show up or don't. Who cares? That's fair. You know, it's been nice having you around to remind me that nothing's actually worth worrying about anymore. It's so easy to forget sometimes. But seriously, we should do something fun here. Come on, let's keep looking around. What about that? What? The tattoo place. Do you want to do that? Do what? You could get a tattoo. No, this sounds great. You should totally get one. It would suit your look and like your whole punk brand so perfectly. Actually, I'm surprised you don't have one already. What makes you think I don't? Wait, do you? Of course I do. Where? Can I see? Only if you're lucky. Didn't anyone ever tell you? Luck is kind of my specialty. Oh, scrod, damn it. I forgot luck's just as much your shit as it was to face what's her circ. Haha. Why don't you get one? Me? Yeah. If you think getting inked up sounds so chill, then how about you first? But I don't like tattoos. Why not? 'Cause I don't know actually. It's just an opinion I remember feeling strongly about at one point. Well, do you still? I guess. I just remember having some trumped up my opinion about like how they look bad or were about trying too hard or I don't even know really. Like ruining your body with some lame thing you will regret one day. You don't even have a body. I know. Well, I do. I mean, we do. Just not in the same way that felt so daily important during our brief and embarrassing stints with mortality. I guess now that I think about it, it just doesn't feel like a big deal anymore, and maybe it was just a totally stupid opinion to begin with. I'm done with that conclusion. What'll it be then? You mean whether I should get one? No, if you want to buy a whale. Yes, do you want a sweet tat or no? I don't know. What would I even get? That's something nautical. Nautical, huh? Well, there's a shocking suggestion if I ever heard one. Yes, it is a curveball, I know, but I like keeping suckers on their toes. It's not a bad suggestion, actually, even if it's quite literally is the only one you're capable of at any given moment. I do genuinely love pirate stuff. Okay, you talked me into it. I'm gonna do it. I'm excited! Oh my god, yay! What What's going on here? Should I go? Yes, me. Yes, John. Well, it's kind of weird talking to myself. I'm not sure if I'm a very big fan of the experience. Tell me about it. But yeah, you should get going. Theresi's experiment worked. You'll find out all about it later. I will? Actually, I'm not sure. Now that I changed how things happened to you, for you, you might not get the idea to come back here like I did. Which I guess makes this situation a true paradox, unlike all those lame stable time loops Dave makes. Should I stay or should I go? So, what does that actually mean for me? What am I supposed to do now? I don't know what it means. Unfortunately, you may not be relevant anymore. I'm the John who is learning to use his flashy powers to reconstruct the timeline, so that responsibility is on my shoulders now, not yours. Sorry, I'm just keeping it real. Well, who really knows how it will turn out? Maybe you'll still have important things to do? I don't have all the answers, I just know Theresi and I have to talk now, so you should go. Where? Where you were about to go anyway, to see Typheus and do the questing. It worked out great. Well, for me at least. Okay, I will. I do hope I get to still be relevant, but I will understand if that turns out to be not to be the case. That's the spirit, nerds. So, that thing we did with the password, we can use that trick to our advantage, right? That's the idea. If we come up with the list of key thoughts, you should be able to do what you just did and zero in on some of my memories and change a few things. Like what? Good question. We have all made a lot of mistakes. I could name a dozen terrible stupid things people have done just off the top of my head, which, if erased, would probably improve the situation. And yet, I don't feel like I have the credibility to hold anyone accountable other than myself. I think I would feel like a hypocrite if I tried to fix other people's mistakes. Yeah, I know what you mean. When I try to think of what to fix, all I can do is look back on what I did wrong. I never should have let that ring out of my sight. Going back and getting the ring is the first thing we should do, right? I guess that one is kind of a no-brainer. Besides, I promised ROXY I'd get it. I kind of blew it last time I told her I'd get it. So maybe I shouldn't mess that up again, huh? What do you think, Theresi? But other than that, the sky is the limit. Really, what do we do? Do I go back to when we were just starting to play the game, and give us some advantages? But then messing up our session caused this whole chain reaction. We never would have met the trolls or had any reason to scratch the session. And if we didn't scratch the session, there never would have been an alternate reality where ROXY and her pals got to play, thereby meeting us. When you start looking back and realizing how interrelated everything is, it starts feeling like an overwhelming job to fix it. On the other hand, you don't want to change so much that the reality you create is barely recognizable. You want to keep everything as similar as possible, so you get to keep all the lessons you learned and the important experiences you had with your friends. But on the other hand, if you aren't going to change something substantial enough to make a real difference, why bother at all? It's like, go big or go home, you know? Sort of a catch-22 when you think about it. Is any of this making sense? Theresi? Theresi? What? Were you listening to a word I said? Not really. Ugh. Come on, Theresi, get it together. I was saying some really deep and insightful stuff, probably. I bet ROXY would have thought it was cool. What are you doing? Are you writing on your scarf? In blood? Here. What the hell is this? A list of instructions. Just focus on all of these key thoughts in exactly this order. For each one, do exactly what it tells you. And then quickly move on to the next one until you are done. Huh? Every change I'm telling you to make will have incredibly subtle consequences. However, they will be absolutely essential for creating a more favorable outcome. But only if you follow my instructions to the letter, no questions asked. Wow. But how do you know these are the exact right things to change? I said no questions asked! Okay, jeez. I was just curious. You asked me to use my powers to help you. That is what I'm doing. It is now your job to trust me and do what I say. It is? Clearly. This bloody scarf contains secret wisdoms of the mind which a lowly human wind boy could never dare to fathom. Now the wind boy must embrace his role as the wayward heir, unbound from the ties of causality, and put all his faith in a falling seer to bring redemption to us all. Okay, now I know you're full of shit. Yeah? But could you please just take the fucking scarf and do what I say? Alright, why not? This is a lot of instructions. All these will take me to certain events in your life? Ideally, yes. Well, at least you have a plan. Who am I to say it isn't the right one? Nobody. Oh, snap! Terezi, did you know, even though you're a weirdo, and we probably wouldn't get along most of the time, I kind of missed you? You were one of the first trolls I ever talked to. We got off on a weird foot with your death threats and jokey antagonism, and it's almost like we never stopped being on that foot. It makes me nostalgic for simpler times. Do you remember when you made me those maps to follow? In a way, following your instructions will be like that tomfoolery all over again. I do remember. The map I sent to you were cartographic masterstrokes and represented a shining example of all who would inspire to host gullible dweebs everywhere. But let's not waste good sentimentality here. You are about to stroll down memory lane with me in a much more literal sense, whereas I... One moment, huh? You need one more thing for your journey. What is your favorite color? That was a rhetorical question, I'm nuts. Here. Good luck, Egbert. Not that you need it. Why not? Because we make our own luck. And you're about to prove that. Plop. Did. Perdeu muito sangue. God, you are so fucking weird. Oh. Look who's here. Excuse me. Apologies for the intrusion, but I seem to be lost. Could you please tell me where I am? Jane! Whoops, sorry. I'm not terribly experienced with the practice of in-person expressions of friendship. Jane, don't be frightened. It's me, Kelly. Of course. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful surprise. Come here, you. This is an expression of in-person friendship we Earthlings refer to as a hug. Yes. Forgive me, I don't recall your telling me you were named Collie. Come to think of it, I hardly remember anything at all. Not even how I got here. I would not fret over it. Your memory should begin to return in due time. Jade here has been remember all sorts of things as we record her memories in our storybook. Hi Jane! Hello there! Opa, peraí.
Hello there.
Why don't you join us? I'm sure you will have much to add to our story. I'd love to. I feel as though I could use a rest. I'm quite exhausted for some reason. I must have been walking along that yellow path for longer than I can remember. I said the same thing when I got here too. It's true. Pardon me though. I also cannot recall for the life of me whether you mentioned your friend to me, or that you were both trolls. Oh, but we are not trolls. Nope. These are all trollsonas. Trollsonas, you say? Collie helped me make mine. Aren't we adorable? You truly are. Say, do you suppose I could make a trollsona too? Imagina, não era nem isso que elas queriam ouvir, imagina.
General Kenobi!
Might as well get started. Let's see, the first key thought is reunion. Go get ring. Reunion. Do I have to think the numbers to you? How do I even do that? Whatever, here goes nothing. Okay. Quase sono. Whoa, it worked! Haha, I remember this. Oh man, this is great. Hey guys, hey me. You're looking almost as handsome as the other me I just saw. Don't ask, it's a long story. All you need to know is we are both looking great as usual. Dang, this was such a cool moment. Hard to believe it was only hours ago, days ago. These zappy shenanigans are making me lose track of time. Whatever, it was just a really nice surprise when you all randomly appeared on my birthday and fell on the grass. I would love to have the sweet reunion all over again with you guys. We had some great conversations here on this lonely Stonehenge planet. I really wouldn't mind listening to everything we said again, word for word, but I can't. I don't know if this makes sense, but when we all came together like this out of the blue and had our long-awaited reunion, I'm not sure if we really earned it yet. We didn't realize it at the time, but there were still a bunch of problems waiting to happen. Like some lingering issues that were going to pull us all apart again and make us fly to get back together once and for all. But don't worry, I'm working to overcome all of those problems right now. That is why I'm here. It's also why I can't hang around all day babbling like a fool. I really need to quit yapping and hit the road, Jack. See you, car kid. I hope your pals don't take it personally, but you were always my favorite troll. The shouty tirades you are going to have on this hilly planet are going to be epic and hilarious. I will never forget them. Kanaya, take good care of him for me, okay? Thanks. Dave, see you in a different reality, buddy. Be sure to take care of Mr. Mayor too. Your beautiful friendship with the cute chessman is an inspiration to us all. I hope and firmly believe it will transcend the boundaries of even the most ludicrous Radcom shenanigans. Hehehe. Goodbye, Rose. It makes me happy to see you alive and well, even if only for a minute. I'm going to make sure I never have to watch you die again. Sorry if that sounds morbid and confusing, but yeah. And if you see her around, say hello to Roxy for me. Oh yeah, hey Tarazi. I feel like this is some big joke you are in on too. But you probably don't have the slightest clue what's going on, do you? Maybe it's better that way. Anyway, the plan is going perfectly so far. I just winked. So yeah, time to go get that ring. I don't know what's going to happen to you all once I change stuff. Maybe you'll stop existing? I don't have a damn clue to be honest, but just so you know, you will always be existing, keep existing in my heart. Bye! O anel tá ali. It's there! Gotcha! O canal secreto. Ele é real. It feels good to have it back. The dear, sweet, precious ring of ghost life. I'll never lose track of it again. I definitely won't let... Wait, who was going to steal this ring again? The other Vriska with the short part skirt? What's her name? Nah, it doesn't matter. She's probably irrelevant now. Boom! There goes another one. Wow, yeah. Dude sure is busy today. I've got to hand it to him. As far as indestructible, reality-destroying monsters go, he really is tireless. Even though on some level I can tell he's probably a complete moron, his dedication and persistence is actually pretty admirable. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Hola. How many ghosts do you think were in that bubble he just wrecked? I don't know. Hard to give a carp, really. And not just because I'm a sociopath. What? What do you mean? Ela fez a tatuagem de âncora. He's just reclaiming souls who hang around too long anyway. Before I died, I was already like, I ain't give a fuck about that much. I looked at it like life had a price of admission no one could afford. In the ticket taker's eye, there's no way you could ever earn your stay. So to stick around, you gotta learn to steal, but shit catches up with all thieves in the end, even the great ones. I lived like death was no thing, at all times overdue. A hard stop to being you, and only chumps aren't fine with that. Then die, and find out dying don't mean what little I thought it did. So all those spooked-eyed souls up there, scared to death of double dying? Fuck 'em. Patience, have I ever told you for a no bullshit fish princess, you sure have a way with words? Yeah, you've kissed my ass before, if that's what you're asking. Oh my god. Ow!
Baby.
Oh look, another space tragedy. Damn! I'll say this much. All the cosmic mayhem is really quite pretty. Almost like the big man out there is putting on a fireworks display just for us. Oh, Lord Muscle Guy be thoughtful as fuck. How far do you think he'll go to find, who was it? His kid sister? Is he really going to keep smashing the black space forever until he finds her? Till it's all gone? It is actually possible to shatter a continuum that's theoretically infinite. Shrug. Like I said, got to admire the guy's determination. Still, I can't imagine he's led a very enjoyable existence. I mean, sure, maybe he thinks he has, in the way that totally delusional, egomaniacal people tend to do. I bet he never had anyone in his life who was actually important to him. Someone who could have helped him see that nothing is worth that kind of obsession. That it's better to just try and be happy. Poor school guy. Okay, bloody scarf. Where to next? Framed. Framed, huh? I mean, framed. which I guess is pronounced the same way, but you have to tell it in Teresa's weird, annoying voice. Well, that was kind of a sick burn. Maybe I should be nicer to her, since she's bailing my stupid ass out of this jam, and also she died. Okay, here I go. Oh no. Oh fuck. Oh no. Framed. Wrong. Ai, tem que ser do jeito dela, ok. Framed. Pelo menos a gente sabe que tem que ser do jeito dela. Rescue the witness before he is murdered. Don't get caught. So, you wanted me to steal a stuffed dragon from your room? How is this even the slightest bit important to the timeline? Whatever. Maybe stealing this dragon is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of stupid time shenanigans. Who am I to judge? Okay, what's next? Ela cheirando. Moment. Wow, that sounds really non-specific. What moment do you mean, Terezi? Way to narrow that down. Guess I'll find out. This better be good. Terezi tá falando com o Carkid. Só no estilo. Manfred. Write messages. Message on wall. Shush. You don't need him. A Therese usando os poderes do John pra ajudar ela mesma, né? This is John, by the way, haha. Hehehe, confused yet, Therese? Hahaha. This is actually a lot of fun. I am like the ultimate prankster now. Then I would be so proud. It's kind of like if Doctor Who used his fancy phone booth to go around playing tricks on people, and that's all he did. Then maybe that show would be less lame. Also, Harry Anderson should be all the doctors. Wow, I should use my retcon powers to make that show happen. Wow, yes. It's like all of the superheroes say, with great powers come great responsibility. Quem é Harry Anderson? Deixa eu ver. Ator e mágico estadunidense. Ele morreu em 2018. Ele devia ser todos os Doctor Who's? Ok. I wonder who this him was in Teresa's note. Carkid, maybe? Acho que era o Genzi, né? Man, I sure hope Terezi didn't send me on a time travel quest just to fix her freaking boyfriend problems. God damn it, Terezi. Ok, eu vou parar por aqui hoje, gente. Lembrar vocês de tomar água. Efeito mãe dela. Eu tô com fome. Então, vou ficando por aqui hoje. Espero que vocês tenham se divertido. Eu me diverti. Vejo vocês na próxima quarta. Ou quando for possível, mas de certeza é a próxima quarta. Dia 8. Boa noite, gente. Até a próxima. Vejo vocês aí no Discord. Estou lá. Valeu, som. Melhoras aí pra todos e boa noite. E bom descanso e bom feriado amanhã! Ê! Comam gostosuras. Cara, desde que eu voltei de viagem eu tô comendo muito. Sério, Gabriel? Eu não li o Homestuck 2. Enfim, boa noite pra vocês, gente. Até a próxima. Tchau!